Thank you, Dr. Rector Minguez. Just on a personal note, I will confess to you that I have 4 daughters. 2 of them are in college and 2 of them are in high school. One of them wants to become a teacher. And I've learned through my years of raising those 4 girls that there is power, particularly power with women leaders, because I know exactly where I stand in my household. With that, I want to make a very special introduction to a young lady who I've had the pleasure of working with for the past several years, who is really our very strong leader. She's someone that you see around and you may not know who she is, but when you meet her, you cannot help but be impressed and amazed by her leadership, her smile, her ability to handle anything that comes up, and she's the reason why these conferences work so well for all of us, not only at QS, but also for all of the delegates and with our hosts. It's my great privilege and pleasure to welcome my boss and my friend. Please welcome Monica Hornung Cattan, Global Director of Strategic Partnerships for QS.
Muchas gracias, Paul.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Following the steps of Dr. Minguez, we continue talking from our heart. Estimado señor canciller,
Dear Mr. Chancellor of the Universidad del Caribe, Professor José Alejandro Ibar Martín, ministers, dear audience, after 2 days, dear friends, first of all, we would like to thank our host, UNICARIBE, who have not only welcomed us warmly, but who have also been exceptional hosts. We would like to thank as well to our speakers, delegates, and sponsors of who are over 300 of them and in representation of over 35 countries. We have delegates who have followed us for 2 days from Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, India. So I hope you have all behaved yourself because we've been watched. For these 2 days, we've learned a lot from brilliant minds in the region, and we have also celebrated the great advancements in higher education in Latin America and the Caribbean. Our universities have demonstrated a remarkable resilience by facing economic crisis, climate crisis, and political crisis as well. Their commitment to academic excellence and the community participation, both at the national and regional levels, highlights their vital part in the sustainable development and in the recovery of the region. To reinforce the regional commitment and engagement is essential for us to make the most of our collective strength in global negotiations. By fostering closer links and collaboration among your diverse nations, Latin America and the Caribbean is able to amplify its voice in the international scenario, significantly increasing its influence. With the 2 universities positioned in the World University Rankings, the World Ranking, and 10 in the Latin American Ranking, the opportunities for universities in the Dominican Republic are very big. While the Dominican Republic, well, it's true that the Dominican Republic is strong in its commitment with education and internationalization, we could be doing more to improve the scope and the impact of their research with a greater number of countries. Aiming to improving its regional and national performance, institutions need to make sure that their sustainability strategies guarantee the maximum impact and visibility. The role of Latin America in fostering the economics of knowledge is enriched by its natural riches and its indigenous cultures. Biodiversity and knowledge and the traditional knowledge of the region offer unique opportunities for innovation and sustainability. positioning it as a world leader in ecological conservation and sustainable development. Based on the results of the International Student Survey, over 75% of students are looking at aspects like sustainability in their institutions to choose their organizations they're going to attend to. This is where our complements present some challenges. The question is, has it been enough with the current institutional commitment to sustainability? And probably the answer is no, it has not been enough. The latest data from the International Student Survey highlight again that a big percentage of students are still perceiving that there are important barriers in the access and equity, quality of the education, technological breach, and escaping talent. I can tell you a brief story here, a story that reflects this discrepancy that can be that of a student, for instance, that over 15 or 20 years ago demonstrated a great passion for subjects regarding international relations and sustainability. This student had the privilege of studying in one of the best organizations in the region, but given the lack of incentives, of professional incentives, he decides to complete his education abroad, overseas. Right now, this student already turned into an executive in an important company. He receives the president of his country as part of a delegation again overseas. The president of his country, when greeting him and talking with this student, tells him, "I'm sorry you left the country so many years ago. We really need, and we needed back then, talents like yours in the country." That special. Is this story special? Does it ring a bell? Nope. It's not special. And it's the reality of many, many students in Latin America and the Caribbean. And the story, that story, I know it very well because it's my story. As Mr. Juan Pablo Duarte pointed out, the forefather of this land that has welcomed here, our country is to be free and independent. I repeat, free and independent. Freedom that for so many of us means knowledge. Let us work for our home country, that it is to work for our children and for ourselves. And this is the definition of QS that we've heard of in English. It is our mission to allow motivated people anywhere in the world to reach their potential through educational accomplishments, international mobility, and professional development. We hope this summit contributes to improvement solutions that are tangible across the region, particularly in areas of opportunities such as technology, innovation, entrepreneurship, and regional integration. In spite that this part is called closing speech, in reality, this is the opening speech. Your job starts today. Your work starts today, and it starts here with the responsibility that you have to go back to your countries, to your regions, and contribute to the fact that this summit has a tangible impact. Let us go back, get back here next year, and we will ask you, I will ask you again, what lessons that you've learned here today you have been able to implement in your countries and in your institutions. Those actions are the ones that really measure the true success of this summit, ladies and gentlemen. So we invite you to join us in following those people that accompany us from Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur in November, in India, in QS Europe next year in Barcelona, thanks to the hospitality of EU Business School. But I would like to thank one last time UNICARIBE for the leadership role that they've played in the region and for the work that they've done to make this summit a relevant, an international relevance, a moment of international relevance in the country and the region as well. Undoubtedly, lighting up the path for all of those who dare to contribute to the topics that are the most relevant for the region and therefore to dream of a better future. Thank you, Mr. Chancellor, for the privilege of accompanying us in that inspirational journey. I will leave you with a proverb that I believe resounds a lot in our region. This proverb states, if you want to get there fast, go alone. If you want to get far, go together. Mr. Chancellor, that I believe was your vision from QS and the entire team that is accompanying us. We are deeply thankful for this group of wonderful people that we've worked with for various months so that we could be here today with you. And we thank you all for coming, and we thank you a safe journey back home. Thank you.